You wrote a book, Beat Back Cancer Naturally. It had 5 precepts in it. Can you go through those?
Yeah, the precepts, and actually, I'm going to be doing a second edition because there's a lot more precepts I need to add in there. But in the book, the basic precepts were a whole food plant-based diet. And, as far as a whole food plant-based diet, I don't have a problem with people eating meat. If you look at the blue zones, they are the 5 areas of the world where people live the longest. Icaria, Greece, Sardinia, Okinawa, Nicoya, Costa Rica, and Loma Linda, which is in the United States. It's where a lot of the Seventh-day Adventists live. But if you look at those areas, they eat about 95% plant-based. They do eat meat maybe once or twice a week. It's about the size of a deck of cards. So I do think you can eat, for instance, like a plant predominant keto or plant predominant paleo. So I don't like to get into all these, these arguments, vegan versus carnivore and so forth, because it starts to get ridiculous. In fact, where I've been kind of focusing is fiber. Like, let's get rid of the word meat and let's get rid of the word plant. Let's just talk about fiber, because that's really where the goal should be, is trying to get at least 30 grams of fiber per day. So a whole food plant-based diet is the first one, and targeted supplements. So through my research, I found several herbs that had really pretty extremely potent anti-cancer activity. So, I personally take over 30 supplements. I just took them right before we did this interview. There's supplements that I've researched, heavily, anywhere from astragalus to ashwagandha to amla to noni fruit, mangosteen. Ones people never even heard of before, neem, moringa. So what I do when I do my consultations, I write them a letter the next day. I put all the supplements that I think they should be taking. I put 3 asterisks to the ones that I think are the most important, 2 asterisks next to the ones I think are least important, and 1 on the, the very low bottom of importance. And they can get them all on Amazon. I do not hawk any supplements. I research all my supplements. In fact, it's a good place for your audience to go if they are interested in learning if a supplement is of high quality. It's called consumerlab.com. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever used that before, but if you go on there, you learn some amazing things. Like, for instance, the soy milk that I use the SZULC brand now. That was their top pick. And when I look at other brands, they have less fiber and they also have less protein. The soy, 1 cup of SZULC has 8 grams of protein, and it has 2 grams of fiber. So in the morning, I do this special drink with all of these, and this is one of the supplements that I recommend everybody to do. I'm really big on freeze-dried powders. I put about 12 different freeze-dried powders in my morning coffee. I have a 24/7 ounce coffee cup. It's made by Aloe. I use a light roast organic coffee that I get. It's a Keurig type. And I put strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, blueberry, grape, goji berry, acai berry. Cacao is the main flavor, so I put a good tablespoon of that in there. Then there's a protein powder that I use. There's a 10 mushroom powder that I put in there. But the reason I'm big on these freeze-dried powders is that most people don't realize this. Plant foods have over 100,000 phytonutrients. And I just heard a podcast by Jed Fahey. He's one of the premier experts on phytonutrients. He actually thinks there's over 5 million phytonutrients in the edible plants. There's probably over 5 million phytonutrients. So when you intake 1 gram of freeze-dried blueberry powder, it's like eating 50 grams of blueberries. And these phytonutrients, they have amazing anti-cancer activity. In fact, in the end of the chapter on whole food plant-based, I get into all the different things that phytonutrients do. They can fragment the DNA. They really disrupt cell signaling between the cancer cells. They disrupt the cancer cell division at various phases. They enhance the tumor suppressor genes. They basically inhibit angiogenesis, the ability of the cancer to develop more blood cells. So when I do these freeze-dried powders, I mean, I am getting like an incredible phytonutrient punch along with the coffee, because coffee has a ton of polyphenols and phytonutrients. And I do that as part of I do intermittent fasting. I eat my last meal's about 8, and I don't really eat until noon. But I do that drink. I wake up about 5:30. I do that drink as soon as I wake up. So I consider that still as part of my fast. But I add a cup of soy milk to that. I put it in the microwave for about a minute and a half. And then I stir it. It is a little bit thick, so you do have to stir it as you're sipping it, but it tastes incredibly awesome. And I do all my computer work. I go into the PubMed. I'm reviewing all kind of articles, and writing blogs and making videos and so forth. And then when I'm about halfway filled, I fill up again with another cup of soy, and then I put that in the microwave. And I calculated the other day, just by doing that, I have intaked 27 grams of protein and 12 grams of fiber, just with that. And I'm getting all of these phytonutrients, and I'm doing it in a kind of a fasted state.